Hello, this is a free call from
An offender at the Chillicothe Correctional Center.
This call is from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse the thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Hello.
Hi, Gypsy.
Hi, how are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just came downstairs to give you a call. I tried to call, I think it was yesterday or something. So
Yeah. And I just missed you. So I'm really glad I got you this fast this time.
I'll always call back.
Yeah, I know. It's really annoying, right? Like, I wish there was, like, some kind of way that I could just, like, signal to you, like, yes, I saw you. I'm right here.
Yeah, I know.
But there's nothing. So there's nothing we can do. But yeah. Thanks for calling. How's everything going in there?
Things are going good. Just the same old. I had a visit from Mom and Dad a couple weeks ago, and we had a wonderful time. Getting to see Mia and Dylan. You know, I haven't seen Dylan since he's been like 10, and the last time I saw Mia, she was 2. So I mean, it was so nice just to kind of get to know her as a sister, and you know, just get to have good family bonding time.
Yeah. I heard you played board games.
Yeah, we play board games, and have you ever heard of the game Skippo?
No.
Okay, well, it's like a little sequence game, and it's a card game. And anyway, my roommates were trying to teach me how to play it, and I thought I had got the hang of it, and I picked it out from the game section, and I was like, okay, I'm going to teach you how to play. Well, I forgot how to play, so we ended up playing like we were playing the card game Speed. And it ended up being more fun than if we would have just played it the right way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually kind of more fun when you make up your own rules for things.
Right.
But yeah. Well, that's good. And how's school going?
It's going good. Oh my goodness. I had taken a test which it shows you all your results in all the levels. And my teacher made a mistake and put me back in level E, math, and I had bumped up to D level. So I was like so excited about being in D level, and you know, with that mistake, there was no way to like correct it on her part. So what I'm having to do is I bumped up from E level to M level because I'm like I know this stuff, and I was getting 100% and you know. Good grades on that. And so I bumped up to M level, and I'll take a test again, because you could take an individual test in a certain subject before they test you in all the areas. And so I'm like, the next couple of assignments that I do, after I do that, I'm going to bump up to level D again, because if I did it once, I could do it again.
Right. Of course. Yeah, you totally could.
Yeah, so it's all good. Mostly just
cool.
studying. I was burnt out on math today, so I studied poetry. I had read The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, wow. Did you like it?
It was kind of creepy. I mean, it definitely had a dark undertone to it. And then I read, I think it's called The Red, Red Rose by Robert Burns. So I was just catching up on some poetry, because that interests me, you know, more than math does.
Oh, really? So you like poetry then?
Yeah, I like poetry, and anything that's like language arts, I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's not that hard for my brain to kind of, you know, imagine what the author's trying to say, and that's why I'm probably so good in it, is because like I can catch on to certain words that is in the poem, and I'll know the meaning of it. Now, sometimes if it's a poem that was written by, you know, someone a long, long time ago, they'll have words that are, you know, not really recent, and so I'll have to kind of look up what they mean, but I still get it, you know. So, it's all good. And
I mean, we all have to do that.
Yeah. And I finally saved up enough money to buy my typewriter, and
oh, cool.
So I went up to Canteen, and I guess they don't sell a lot of them. So the lady was like, we don't sell a lot of typewriters, and she didn't didn't know how to order it. So they're going to call me. I'm just going to go up there for a second time and ask them, because I'm like, I have the money on my account, and I really want to purchase it before I, lose control of willpower and spend all my money. So I'm going to start working on trying to write the book.
Right, of course. I mean, books take a long time, so you have some time. But still, yeah, I understand the willpower to spend the money. I'm not that good at that myself. Yeah. Right. So okay. Yeah. So we had some questions. I think like most of them are mostly about like your mom, right? I mean, it's just because, I can talk to you, so I have, like, an idea of what you sound like and what you might say and, like, any given situation, right? Like, but obviously I don't know your mom, so so it's a little bit more difficult there. So I guess like we're just wondering, like a couple of things, like, and here's, like, the easy questions. So the easy questions are, like, does your mom ever smoke at all? No, right?
She didn't drink and she didn't smoke.
Okay, she didn't drink and she didn't smoke.
Right.
So not even like a beer when she was out with friends, or like
never.
Outside, nothing. Okay,
No.
all right. Huh. Did she ever tell you why?
In her younger days, she would have, some drinks, but that's just normal, young adulthood. But then whenever she became a mom, she didn't drink, didn't smoke. She never smoked in her entire life. Never did drugs. And then whenever she got older, she started being on medications a lot. So obviously you can't do any sort of drinking or anything like that if you're on medication. Right. I'm sure you could, but it's not recommended.
Yeah, but it's not good. Yeah, it's not good. Okay. All right. So good. So she didn't drink. She didn't smoke. Did she talk about God a lot, or like? Because I know you went to church, but I just don't know how much like it came up outside of church.
Like it came up. I'm not gonna say that she was a Bible thumper, because she wasn't a Bible thumper. But whenever it came to maybe talking to somebody that needed a helping hand or something, she would, just say, or if somebody did something nice or anything like that, so she would refer to God and be like, God will bless you, and, basically being grateful, more grateful for what God has done for her in her life and stuff. And, like, me and her, we would talk about religion. And so, we would ponder on different concepts of religion. And so it's just basically talking about, like, what does heaven look like, and if we look like people, do we have wings? Kind of just bounce around ideas off each other.
Right. Okay. What did she think God looked like?
I think we both kind of came up with the concept of heaven is like if we walk on clouds, and we still look like people, but maybe have like a glow about us. And she said that she wanted to be on a pink cloud, and I said I wanted to be on a blue cloud, because pink was her favorite color, and baby blue is mine.
Huh. I didn't know that before. It's funny because all the pictures I have of your mom, she's always wearing purple for some reason. I don't know why.
Purple, because like the picture of the costume that she had, that was her favorite costume. But our house was pink, so her favorite color was pink.
Yeah, your house is definitely pink. So okay, all right. And okay, so did she have like favorite TV shows?
She liked to watch TV a lot. But I think we watched TV together. So our favorite TV show was Once Upon a Time on ABC, and that still is my favorite show. So I still watch it. I missed a couple of seasons, but I definitely have a lot of favorite shows, but I mean the ones that because I wasn't allowed to watch anything rated R, and she wouldn't.
Right.
If she wanted to watch something on HBO, like Game of Thrones, or at the time True Blood was very popular, she would ask for 1 hour a week to have by herself, and I would go in my room and play with Barbies or watch cartoons in my room.
Mhm. Right. But you guys mostly slept in the same bed, right? But you had your separate room.
Yeah.
Okay. And like by the time you moved to Springfield, like, do you remember like what because it's hard for me to pinpoint because I don't have your mom's medical records. Like I'm not sure exactly when she started feeling like really kind of sick. Towards the end. When did that start?
That I can tell you because I noticed whenever we first came to Missouri, she was still healthy. I'm not gonna say that she was completely all healthy because she had the leg injury, and she was on pain medication for that. But as far as that was concerned, from 2005 to I want to say 2007, her health stayed the same, and then it started declining once we found out that she had diabetes. And that was probably in 2008.
Okay. So around the time you got to Springfield then.
Right. And so her health started going down from there.
Okay. All right. Okay. So she was only starting to feel sick when you got there because the pilot episode that we're drafting, right? Like it starts when you guys get to Springfield. That's when the show starts.
Okay.
So that's what I'm asking is like whether she would have been feeling sick right away at that time, but it seems like maybe not, but soon after.
Like there was times before we found out that she had diabetes. This is what kind of gave us a pause of what was going on with her health. She would have times that she got really, really lightheaded and dizzy, and she got very, very tired. And I remember this one time she had to pull off into the middle of a McDonald's parking lot to take a nap because she felt so dizzy she couldn't drive. And things like that. Then she got a cut on her finger that took a very long time to heal. It kept reopening because it didn't fully heal. And it was she was chopping a potato up, and she cut her finger, and it took a long time to heal up. And so there was just instances like that. And then she took the diabetes test. She found out that she had diabetes, and that's whenever they started her taking the pills. And then when the pills wasn't seem to be helping her blood sugar, they started putting her on insulin. And so as much as she hated doing the insulin shots, she did it anyway. Because I'm like, I would encourage her. I'm like, it's going to make you better. We need to take care of you. Because I was there for her. And even whenever she had a bunch of kidney stones, because she was prone to getting kidney stones quite often, I was the one that would crush up some ice and help her change out her throw-up bag, just put a cold bag on her head, just be there for her.
Not sure I knew that you had taken care of her sometimes too. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So, another question we had, and this is just because we're trying to figure out like how your mom would have told the story. But can you tell me a little bit more about like when you were in Slidell and then you like the apartment? Well, like right after Katrina, what happened? Because they told me that like in the shelter you guys had pictures of your apartment and that it was like all destroyed. But I don't know if you like went back and looked at it or what or how that worked out. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Okay, so we spent, it was a long time ago, but we spent, let's say, a month at the shelter, and my mom had wanted to go back for a cat because because we had 2 cats at a time. And
Right.
I had one of the cats for, I want to say since I was like 5 years old. And
Oh, wow.
So the cat was pretty old, but it was my favorite cat. And so I was like, we need to, go and get them if there's a chance that they could be okay. And so she had got, I forgot, did he drive or, this is how I don't remember. It's pretty bad.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Just tell me what you do remember.
I know that we had went back, and after the storm was over, and our apartment was destroyed. Like, the couch was completely turned over. The refrigerator was, like, resting on the kitchen countertop. Just, it looked like a whole mess. Like, there was water, yucky water, just everything was everywhere. It looked like a tornado hit, but with water.
Right.
And the cat was actually in there. I guess I
Oh.
don't know how the poor cat survived, but both our cats were there, and we were able to wrangle them into a cage. And my mom was looking for a ring that was her mother's ring, my grandmother's ring. And so she was trying to look everywhere for this ring. And she finally was able to find it. And that's actually the ring that's in evidence because my mom gave it to me. So that's in evidence right now. And I will get it back, though.
Yeah.
So, yes, we did go back, and, yes, the apartment was destroyed. And then whenever we went back to the shelter, Miss Janet Jordan was the CSAT worker, and she was like, well, do you have any place to go? And Mom was like, no, we don't have anybody. And so she talked to some people in Springfield, and they have sent a helicopter to come and get us to relocate us to Springfield. But we spent some time in Aurora, Missouri, as you know.
Yeah.
For probably about a year until we signed up for Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah. And you had told me when I came to see you that, like, things went badly in Aurora, right? Like, or something went wrong. Like, they didn't want to, they promised you all sorts of stuff and it wasn't there or something like that?
Yes. Miss Janet had promised us that we'd have a new house with a new car. And when we got there, it turned out to be, it's not that we weren't grateful, it's just not what we thought it was going to be. And so it turned out to be a rental house, and we didn't have a car, but someone was able to donate us kind of a really, really crappy car that was on its last leg pretty much. But, I mean, it was a way to get around. And then we saved up money to buy the van.
Right.
And then we had signed up for Habitat for Humanity. And they took a little bit to build the house, probably about another year or so. And finally, whenever we moved in I want to say March of 2008.
It was March. Yeah, it was March.
Yeah.
There's a newspaper article, so I had that.
I think my mom wanted to have it on my grandmother's birthday. So March 15th is my grandmother's birthday. So she wanted to celebrate it on that day.
Right. Okay, so this is like a minor question, but it's just come up with us, and you can probably think about it when you think about how a TV show works. So we're wondering, like, so before you had the van, how would you ride in the car with the wheelchair? Like, would your mom fold it up and put it in the trunk, or how does it work?
Yeah, she would, at that time, I didn't have a motorized wheelchair.
Okay.
It was a manual. So it would fold up into the trunk, and I would ride in the passenger seat.
Yeah, okay. But then you got the van before you moved to Springfield, right? Like, by the time you were in Springfield, you had the van.
We were in Aurora, and we got the van pretty quickly. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I think about it.
Yeah, I know these are small questions. It's just stuff that comes up when you're trying to figure out, like, oh, are they in the car together? Like, how does this work?
Right.
So in the van, though, you rode it, like, kind of in the back, right?
No, I rode in the passenger seat.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I always got dibs on the passenger seat.
So then, where did the motorized wheelchair go when you were driving around?
We had a ramp installed,
Okay.
and it was a fold-out ramp, and that's where I could drive up the motorized wheelchair, and it would be kind of, because we took out kind of the back seat to put room and stuff, so that's where that would be. But I would still sit in the passenger seat from time to time.
Well, how did you get in the passenger seat from the wheelchair then?
I had climbed over.
Okay.
I'm not very heavy.
Right.
I think I weigh like 101 pounds. So.
Yeah. No, you're very small. Pretty easy. Okay. All right. Okay. It's interesting because your grandma keeps coming up, right? And one of the things that the documentary was really heavy on, and probably people have told you this, is this idea that your mom had something to do with your grandma dying.
I know.
Can I just ask you, my impression has always been that you're not so sure about that.
Like me, I don't. It was brought up to me by this kind of, I don't know what you would call it, a theory. And I honestly don't think that she did, just because Mike had asked me who was the one person, if anybody, that she ever loved in her life. And I said my grandmother, because she had, don't say one bad word about her, because she was basically the closest thing to God in my mom's eyes,
Right.
So it's like, I don't think that she would have had anything to do with her death. And it seemed like when my grandmother passed away, my mom's whole world fell apart, because my mom was sort of this kind of perfectionist, that she'd be in beauty pageants for her mother and on drill team and, great grades, going to nursing school, and then come home and work on the fishing boat with her father, and just had to be a perfectionist at everything. And so I know that from my mom's standpoint, she said that my grandmother and my grandfather didn't particularly like my dad. And then whenever they split up, and we hit hard times and didn't really have a place to live, we spent some time with my grandmother and my grandfather at their house.
Right.
So.
And that's when your grandmother was dying, right?
Right. And she passed away of a massive heart attack. And so it kind of hit unexpectedly, but like my mother's health was declining, hers was too. So it kind of shows like a pattern.
Yeah. I mean, so because I was surprised that the documentary was so hard on this point, because my feeling was I guess it's something that your mom's family feels kind of strongly about, but I don't know. I think in hindsight, it looks like I don't know. I think your mom, some of the stuff about being a perfection or being a perfect daughter to her mother, I think it kind of got twisted in the way that she was sick with you, right? Like this idea, because there's something about being a pageant kid that isn't very far from some of the things she made you do, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It all fits to me.
It does, and it's I know that my mom wanted to push her dreams on me. I think if she could redo her life over again, I think she would have become a nun and entered the convent, because she tried to push that out on me. And, those were her dreams, and she had said that when I said that I didn't want to be a nun, she got upset with me, and she's like, wow, I thought just for once someone in the family could have made something with their lives. And that's like putting me down, I can't be as perfect as you want me to be. I can't be perfect like you was whenever you were my age. Have you never messed up in your life before,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. Because she would constantly, throw how perfect she was whenever she was my age.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, because I think probably your mom was exaggerating some of that. It does seem like she's not perfect either, right? Now in retrospect, we know, right? Like we know things like she forged checks and stuff, right? So we know that the perfection stuff was just like an act, right? Like that but it's interesting that she used it on you, and probably something we'll put in the show. Okay, so all right, so that's your grandma. I'm trying to think about all the other stuff. That's like just all these tiny little things just to make sure that I get this. So like one thing I will say, and I can tell you more about like how the pilot is structured. It's mostly structured around the sugar allergy thing that you and I have talked about, right? Like the thing where your mom was convinced that sugar made you sick.
Yeah.
So the pilot is kind of structured around that, right? Like it's kind of structured around you sort of figuring out that that's not really true, right? At least that that sugar, you find out over the course of the pilot, and that's the kind of thing that's going to happen a lot, I think, as we like put this together, is like things will be related to things that happen in real life. They might not happen in the order that they did, right? Like I think the thing with the Medicaid card and you seeing the age that you were is going to be in the next episode, but not in this one, right? Because we have to show you learning things sort of gradually.
Right.
But that's the kind of thing So like a lot of the stuff, like it's just good to know stories that your mother told you. Like you told me too about like camping in the park when you were younger, right? Like when you guys were a little bit homeless. So I think it was probably just after you left Cut Off, right? So like that's in the first episode, just you guys talking about it, right? Just stuff like that, and I think you'll recognize everything that's in it from things that you've told me. It's just it might not happen in the exact order, right? I mean the general facts of what happened are in the right order, and we're trying to keep to the chronology as much as we can. But that's sort of like how it's going, and I think a lot about these things. Sorry, go ahead.
For her personality, is or was a lot like mine. She was very bubbly, happy, and even though she did struggle with depression, but nobody really saw her like that but me. And so, if I were, completely sweetheart, you would sort of, she's like the nicest person on earth, and I don't have to tell you that because, I mean, you know that, but, I'm doing all that research, but, I mean, we had great times together. Like, we were best friends, and we had best friend bracelets, and, it's heartbreaking to see how it all ended. But
we're going to make it pretty clear that in many ways you guys were very connected.
Right.
Right. Like, I think that's going to be very obvious. Right. Like, I saw the thing you wrote, like, for the anniversary, and for Mother's Day too. And like, I think about that all the time, the idea that you had about, like, she was still your mom, right? Like,
right.
All this stuff later, all these things that we know that happened that, like, are kind of horrible and whatever, she was still your mom.
Right.
And kind of
all
always will
fades
be.
away, and you're just left with, you're left with grief. And it is hard because at the end of the day, you realize that you have lost a parent, regardless of how good or bad they were. You realize that you have lost a parent. So.
No, and I think so. My whole goal with this, and is to try and make, like, everybody in this seem like a human being.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why I'm asking you so much about this, like, theory about because one of the things that, like, that sort of makes your mom into, like, this evil person who her whole life is trying to hurt other people. And my guess, and we're never going to know because she can't tell us, right? But my guess is that that's not really what it was like for her, right? Like, she wasn't thinking, like, every day, like, how can I hurt somebody today?
No. I think it was she had she had mental issues, and I think if she would have had some help with that, because I think, like, I mean, what's the point of, if you're trying to be mean, why would you bring your child to get a surgery and then after give them a stuffed animal to make them feel better? And it wasn't always about bribery. Sometimes she just genuinely wanted to take care of me. So, I mean, I don't think that maybe it wasn't, a constant thing in her mind, like, I know she's not sick. Maybe it was her own denial, like, I know she could walk, but I'm just making my brain think that she can't, you know?
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah, no, and I think, well, even with regular parents, like bribery is still sometimes like a gesture of love too, right? Like it's not usually, it's not so easy to separate it out. I think I don't know. For some people, it's easier to think about it if it's just like but I think that's not the kind of show, at least that, or it's not the kind of way we're going to tell the story.
Right.
Or at least it's just not the way I see it. What did your mom tell you about your dad? Like around like by the time you got to Springfield.
Well, my mom had told me the same thing my whole life, and it never changed.
Okay.
So, my mom had told me that that you know, he has a new family now, and he spends a lot of his money taking care of them, bringing them on vacation, and she made Christy out to seem like this sort of materialistic bitch, to be honest. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. So she'd be like, oh, Christy wants a new ring today. I guess he's going to cook for her, and type of this kind of stuff. And basically downgrading him. Sorry, I need a drink.
It's okay. It's okay. Sorry, I have you talking a lot.
And just making him out to seem like this person that doesn't care about us or about our way of life, doesn't want to see me, doesn't want to be a part of my life. And she kept telling me about this story that I don't know if it's true or not, because I don't want to bombard Dad with questions of if this is true or not. But she told me about this story about that she invited him to come and visit me when I was really young, probably about 4 or 5, and that I bought 2 popsicles from the popsicle guy, ice cream truck, and I waited, and I fell asleep waiting for him. He never showed up, so Mom gave him a call to wonder what was going on. He was at a basketball game with his friends. So these are the kind of stories that I kind of grew up hearing. And, of course, the one about whenever I was a baby and I was crying, and he took me up by my throat and told her, shut it up or I will. So these are things that she's told me.
Right, yeah.
And, I think a lot of it's not true.
Yeah. It's hard to picture your dad doing the last one in particular.
Right,
but
no, I do not picture him doing that.
Yeah,
and,
I can't see it.
I did ask him whenever they visited, not this time, but the time before that. I was like, Mom had said that you wanted her to have an abortion. And Christy had chimed in and was like, actually, he said he brought up abortion to me, too. For Dylan, I think. Yeah, for Dylan. And he's like, I don't know. I was young, and I may have said that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just pointing to what was true and what was not. And he was like, well, if I got a girl pregnant now, I wouldn't ask her to have an abortion. I'm like, you were young, I can understand how people grow and stuff,
Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, he's young. One of your dad's better qualities, I think, is that he's pretty honest about that stuff, right? Like about when he's done something that's not like great. He'll mostly own up to it, which a lot of people wouldn't, right? Like a lot of people would have just been like, no, I would have never said that,
right.
Even if they internally thought that he did. Okay, all right. Yeah, because I just we're going to have in the pilot, I think, your mom tell a couple stories about your dad. We're going to obviously like reveal later that nothing she said about him, or most of the things she said about him, are not true.
Right.
Although sometimes it feels like in your mom's stories there was often like some kernel of truth, right, that she like then exaggerated or turned into like a big story.
I mean, like,
yeah.
She would tell me that my, Rod would drink, and sometimes he would get drunk, which I figure, he was young, so that may have happened.
Right.
I never asked
not
him,
a big deal.
I never asked him, like, did you do drugs when you were younger? Because, I mean, like, maybe it may have been true, because a long time ago he had the name Dopey tattooed on his knuckles. And apparently that was for, like, dope or something. I'm not 100% sure on that. But he got that tattoo removed. So I
and he's also really young, and also like
right.
I don't know, right? Like just because there are lots of drug addicts who love their children, right? Like, it's not a hard and fast line, right? Like it doesn't really say anything about like how he felt about you, really.
Right.
So yeah.
So I think
well, I think your mom hated that she had been rejected by your dad, which anybody would hate.
Dad was telling me, I guess, whenever he told her that he wanted a divorce. Oh my God, she like threw a picture of their wedding picture and smashed it on the floor. She was quite upset about that. But
I think rejection was really hard on your mom, right? Like she had a hard time dealing with it, and I think that's why like some of these stories got exaggerated over time. And I actually think it's probably why she just took you for herself, because you weren't going to reject her, right? Like kids don't usually reject their mothers, especially when they're really, really little, right? Like all they do is they want their mom, and I think she must have found that sort of wonderful about you.
Even whenever I grew up, you know, it was that she still needed that, me needing her feeling. And, you know, it hurt to see that whenever I'd be more independent, that it was hurting her. So, I mean, it did have a reaction on me, and it made me feel guilty, you know.
Yeah, well, and I think a lot of people who were in less desperate situations than you were in, right, like, who weren't being made to, like, live, like, a big lie like that. Like, a lot of people would recognize that in their own relationships with their mothers, right? Like, that's pretty common. I have that with my mom, and my mom isn't like yours, although my mom has issues, but
may have. You know, it's like, oh, I don't want you to grow up, I want you to stay young, and
but your mom was just, she took it to the wrong place. She took it to the wrong place. Okay, so then there's one last question, and this one actually comes from Nick, who just texted me. And Nick is the co-writer, the other person who's working with me, who runs the other TV shows. So he just he says hi, by the way. At some point, when he and I are actually, we're both in Canada right now. It's a long story, but like when he and I are actually in the same geographical location, I'll email you to call, and we'll try and figure out so that you can actually talk to him. Directly. I mean, you could just call him if you want, but it might be easier if I'm there. So anyway, he just texted to ask, like, looking back now, I know that at the time this might have been really hard to like figure out, but looking back now, do you think like you were ever like kind of trying to, well, obviously you were lying to your mom a little bit towards the end, but did you ever feel like you were trying to get her to do things that did you ever feel you were manipulating her?
No.
Okay.
Because I felt like, if anything, like, I know that I was manipulated, but, you know, I would try and be honest. The only time that, you know, I wasn't manipulating her in the way of what was going on with my health, but I did manipulate her by lying about me being on the computer. And being like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go to the bathroom at Walmart and go and buy a cell phone. You know, things like that. So,
that's what I thought.
Like,
but, like, Yeah, I mean, it's like, obviously you lied to her a little bit, but, I don't, like, it's just, there wasn't, like, obvious things that, like, or ways to get your mom to, like, do stuff. So, and here's a little small question about, which is completely unrelated, but about your food. So, how did your mom make it? Like, it was Ensure, right, or most of the time. But did she ever use like a blender? Did she ever blend up food for you?
Yeah, like
Okay.
I had blended up food, and mostly it was you know, if we'd have gumbo, it was blended up. If we had spaghetti, it was blended up.
Okay, and would you eat that by mouth ever?
Yeah.
Like,
I had, you know, because the only thing you can put through a feeding tube is the formula, so the Pediatric.
Okay.
So I'd probably have, like, I want to say some mashed potatoes in the morning, and maybe a little bit of spaghetti,
Okay, I mean, I think that's pretty close to it of what we have so far. So, and let me tell you where we are. So we gave an outline of the pilot to Hulu, like just an idea of what we thought it would look like, and they really liked it. So that's why we're drafting the script down. That's why all these like little nitpicky things have become important, because in the outline we could just summarize. But basically what's going to happen is Nick and I are going to turn this back into the studio in the next couple of weeks. If possible, I'll ask you to call again, but I'm trying to like stay out of it because I know you want to call your family rather than talk to me probably. But yeah, I'm trying to stay out of your call time. But I might have you call one more time as we get towards the end. I'll send you an email if that's so. But then when we turn it into the studio, we do some notes and stuff, and it goes back and forth. But I suspect that'll take most of August. But then I think towards the fall, that's when they'll be actually deciding, like, are they going to make this or not? And they seem really enthusiastic, but you never know. Right. So like, there's still a chance that at the end of all of this, there's no TV show, right? Like, but I don't know. I think there's like a pretty decent chance that like sometime in the fall we'll be close to that. But as usual, it'll be the same thing. Like, I told your dad and Christy, and I'll tell you, like, as much as I can, you're always going to know stuff before it's in the press, right? So it will never surprise you. So if we get to a point where we're casting, you'll know that we're doing that and stuff like that. So I'm just trying, it's your life, you know?
I wonder who would play me, because it's kind of a complicated thing just because, like, you can't have you could have a child do it, but at the same time, wasn't I can't remember, like in 2008, wasn't I like 15, 16, 30?
Yeah.
Actually,
you were 16. We've been through it several times. Yeah. Yeah. I know. In 2008, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Do you cast a woman or do you cast a child?
I think probably what we'll do is we will cast somebody who is closer to your real age than to the age that you were, and it'll be one person playing you, because you don't actually look a lot different than you do now, but you know what I mean. You didn't change a lot over the course of that. Like, you didn't grow up a lot.
Right.
You grew up a lot after everything happened.
Yeah.
But in appearance, I mean. But so I think what would happen is, like, it'll be one actress. And we've sort of talked about people, but none of them are super famous. I mean, I actually think what's going to happen so far is, like, the famous person is going to probably be your mom, and then that's going to really dictate whoever is the other person, right? Because obviously, like, the dynamic between the two actresses is the most important thing.
Right.
So
it seems so weird that someone's going to play me. It's just weird.
It is weird, and I hope, like, whoever it is meets you and all that kind of stuff. I assume they're going to want to, and we'll just, like, arrange that all when it comes to it, right? But you know, they're just trying not to put the cart before the horse here. But I think, you know, it's going to depend, because you're a good role, as they say, which feels weird to say about a real person, but there you go. And so because of that, like, I think we'll have, like, a lot of people who want to play you, but the person that ends up doing it might not be famous because they'll want to, like, make them famous with this, you know?
Right.
So,
it seems like how they portray you is the closest to the actual person. So, you know.
Yeah.
I can make a joke, and it would have to be a Jewish person because of my nose.
Yeah, it's funny how much you and Mia look alike, by the way. When in the pictures where you're next to each other, you look exactly the same. It's crazy.
Well, we were comparing that when we were having our visit. I was like, I think I look more like Dylan than Mia. And, like, we were kind of comparing looks. And, like, standing next to each other, you could tell that we're sisters.
This call is from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
You could definitely tell that me and Dylan are siblings.
No. Well, so you have Dylan's coloring.
Yeah.
But you definitely have like have the face shape and the facial features. It's a lot more like Mia, I think.
Yeah. It was a good visit. I was just so excited, and I wish you could have been there to see it. Oh my goodness, Dylan, he gave me a hug, and then at the end of it, he had picked me up, and now he's tall. You know he's tall, and so he picked me up right off the ground. He gave me a big hug.
Wow. I mean, I'm not surprised he can pick you up off the ground, but yeah, he's a good guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, crazy. All right. Okay. Well, do you have any questions for me?
No, not
okay.
yet. But if you have any more questions, even if it just seems like a strange little detail,
no, you always tell me things that are useful to know, and like that like it'll be just little details about. Well, like I'm thinking about the pink and the blue cloud now. Yeah, just stuff like that. It's good to know. It helps us contextualize like what you're doing, and as much as possible, like we'd like to have the characters saying things that you actually said, right? Like obviously it's not possible to
like
be
all
like
dialogue. You know, I know that some of the dialogue has to be made up, but like as real dialogue as possible.
Yeah, or what I would like, I told you, like what I'd like is for when you eventually see it, which someday you will. You know, when you eventually see it, I'd like you to be like, well, I remember, like, I know where that came from, right? Like, even if it's not exactly the way you said it, right? Like, you know where it came from.
What has happened, and I know exactly where it's coming from,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Good.
Cool.
Well, how as far as, like, so I remember you saying that it was going to be the first season will be me, right? And then
and then the second season will be something totally different.
Right.
If there's a second season, knock wood, blah blah blah. Really, we have to get renewed, right? Like, we have to get the first season together. But yeah, it would be something totally different.
Okay, that's cool. I can't wait to actually watch it myself.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see. Maybe there'll be a different warden by the time it actually is around.
We have a different warden right now. Apparently, our other one had quit, so there's a male warden headed up now. So who knows?
Yeah. Well, you never know. Yeah, and maybe we'll see.
I wonder.
Or maybe you'll get out early. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, have you seen what's going on with the petition?
Yeah, it's a lot of people. I think I don't know, because like Missouri is not the greatest state, right? Like for like the governor is not particularly sympathetic. That's the problem. But there is a lot of stuff going on with the petition. It's true. There's like 2,500 signatures, I think.
Yeah, it's over 2,500 now. I think it's like 2,505 or something. So
yeah.
It's going good.
Yeah, it would be good. It would be good if we could find you guys a lawyer who would really want to like take this on.
I know. Right?
I know it's hard. I'm doing my best to help your parents, but like, it's hard.
Now, I had talked to Jenner Smith from 2020, and they want to do an episode coming up from sometime in the fall, and so that might be done. I told her that I said that I'm open to do an interview. It's just more of my dad has a strict work schedule, and so it's kind of figuring out when we could actually do an interview. So that's going to be coming up sometime in the fall.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. I'll check in with your dad about that. That's really cool. About like future news. But I guess because I guess Nick is going on trial at the end of the year.
Yes, December 11th.
Yeah, unless he pleads that, or I assume some kind of plea may happen.
But I mean, I'm keeping my eyes and ears open. Like I said, we have the paper here, so I could always read the paper about it. And of course, Mom would tell me anything about that. So. Yeah.
Yep.
No.
I don't know. It's hard to imagine them going through a full trial with him, but like we'll see, right? Like he has to agree to whatever they want to do, so I guess that's where it is.
Right. Now, where do you see like the last episode ending?
The last episode of the show? We have it ending right now like after, so before you've been sentenced or anything, we have it ending like around the time that you are, I guess like that you're about to head off to trial, right? Because the idea is to have a lawyer who is like Mike, right? Like who might not exactly be like some of the names may change, right? Because that's the way that they do these things, right? But a Mike-like lawyer at the end of it is the person that you'll talk to about like what has gone on in your life a little more openly. Like the audience is going to know by the end of the first episode, they know that a lot of the story isn't true. And they know that you sort of know that some of it isn't true, but it's not really clear how much of it you know. And it's not like you haven't tried to run off or anything yet, obviously, because it's 2008. So yeah. So that's where it ends. Is it would end? I think it would end long before you even got to prison.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So like,
so that's the plan.
If you need any information about how things were for me in jail, I can tell you all about that.
Yeah, I know. We did talk about that, and I think about that too, right? Like about whether, like, I that's why when you asked like where does it end, I was kind of like blah blah blah. That's the plan right now. I can't say that we won't decide to try and incorporate a few more things in jail, right? Like towards the end to try and like drag it to try and, because the thing that I kind of want is the fact that you were still sort of like in love with Nick at the beginning when you went in.
Yeah. And then
right.
towards the end, it was like, kind of an angry sort of, I don't want anything to do with you anymore type of emotion. So.
Right, of course. Right. Yeah, no, and that this lawyer, i.e. Mike, helped you get there, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Because he was pretty key, I think, right? I'm not making that up. Yeah. So that's where I think it's going to end up. Is like I can't tell you the exact like moment of it, but like it'll be somewhere there.
Idea. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Now, big news. Like I don't know how to bring this up exactly, but
just say it.
Like, so me and Dad was talking on the phone, and like we're starting to build a closer bond together. Similar to me and Christy. Well, he tells me that like he's like, don't tell your mom, to keep it between us. And I'm thinking he's going to tell me that he's buying her a present or something romantic or something. Okay. He tells me that, and I quote, I hope me and Christy will still be together by the time you get out.
Oh, wow.
So, long story short, they're having trouble in their marriage. Dad's considering a divorce, but he wants to wait till I'm either out or till Mia goes off to college. And I had asked him, because it came as a shock to me. And I'm like, I'm not registering this right now. And,
it's a lot of information for you.
Yeah, to process. And I'm like, did I just ask you, is it my fault? And he's like, no, absolutely not. And because I'm like, I can't help but wonder, why now? After being together so long, why now? What's different now? And the only thing I can see that's different now is me. So naturally, I would think that it was me. And so he said, no, it's not you. And I asked him, like, well, please tell me exactly what it is so I don't have to worry about it, And he's like, well, I guess Mom is more of the stay-at-home type and want to do things at home. And Dad is more of the adventurous, let's go out for a romantic dinner or something. And she shuts him down for it. And so I think right now it's just she wants to stay at home. He wants to maybe have a little bit more romance in the relationship, and she keeps on shutting him down. And he's just tired of it. He feels like she doesn't do a lot of housework, and like she does the laundry, and that's like that's all she does is stay at home. She doesn't want to do anything with me. And we'll try and talk to her about it. And he's like, I've tried. We've been, had this issue for the last 5 to 10 years. And so I'm like, and then complaining to her and about just nitpicking stuff. And so both of them are telling me that, they're each other's flaws. And it basically, and I'm trying to be like the relationship therapist here and try to patch it together the best I can, because she's like, I'm like, have you done anything spontaneous and romantic with Dad lately? And she's like, we spontaneously went to Rose yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, that's not me.
Oh no.
And so that's one thing that I'm worried about. But I talked to him about it, and he's like, don't put on yourself to worry. Because he was like, no matter what happens, you're still gonna have a place to go when you get out. We're still gonna love you both as individuals. Even if I'm single with Christy or with somebody else, I'm still gonna always love you, and basically comforting me like that. But that's where I'm kind of like just stressed out about it. And I know that there's nothing I can do, but it still stresses me out because I got close to her. I'm close to her.
Yeah.
And she's like everything that I've wanted in a mom. So I don't want them to break up and say, like, she doesn't love me the same or, want to talk to me or something. I know that she's not like that, but I look so much like my dad. So it's going to cause her pain,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she's ever going to disappear from your life. Like, I don't think that's a real risk. But it is sort of, it's kind of a bummer that's on you. It's like, you're in, what can you do from where you are, right? Like, you can't really do anything. And honestly, even if you were living in the same house as them right this second, I don't think you could really do anything. Like, people in a marriage, right? Like, you can't fix it for them. Even when it seems like both sides are being like stupid and unreasonable. I don't know. When I was a little kid, my parents put me in the middle of their marriage a lot, and they're actually still together, but probably shouldn't be. And so, like I don't know, like what you're bringing up, it brings up all those old feelings that I had about like being stressed out about being in the middle of it. And I'm kind of sorry that that's like happening to you because you've just been through this like huge thing.
Right.
and
something else,
I know.
When
And
my parents got divorced, I was a baby, so I don't remember those feelings or anything. And so now it's like hitting me as an adult, and it does stress me out because I'm like, I do want you guys to be together. I feel the same way about Mom and Dad. Even though like all these crappy stories she's telling me, I still at the end of the day want them to be together. And
I know.
Natural. And so especially now, it's like you guys are so happy to idolize their marriage because they've been married for so long, and every time they visit me, they seem so happy. And
right.
So it's just like, oh my God, it's in a left field. Like I did not expect this at all.
Yeah,
so
neither
like
did I. I'm surprised.
Another
I'm surprised
in my
too.
life.
They seem happy. Although, like I mostly just see it from your mom, from Christy's end of things. Because your dad doesn't post much on social media, but he's sort of, how he is. I think he's too busy being outside, frankly, which I envy. But he, I don't know. Like, look, I think they're both good people, and I think you should not worry about either of them disappearing from your life or whether you look like your dad. Christy is not. I don't think she's ever going to let go of you now. Like, I think that's it, right? Like, you're in her life. That's it. That said, obviously, like, it'll be upsetting, right? Like, if they split up. But also, couples that have been married as long as they do, like, threaten to split up all the time and then never do it. So it's hard to say, right? Like, it's hard to say whether it will actually happen. Right. But yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's really stressful. I mean, I don't know, like, what to advise you to do except to say, like.
I don't know. It's kind of nice to talk to somebody about it. Because, like, I talked to Dad about it. But, I mean, talk about it in a general sense. The person that I would talk about it with, I can't talk about it with.
Right.
So it's put me in a difficult position. And, he did talk to Mia and Dylan about it. Dylan really didn't say anything. Mia said that she expected it sooner. But we all just want them both to be happy,
Right. And sometimes people are happier apart. right? Like, it could end up that actually the best thing that happens is that they're not together. I don't think you're going to lose either of them. I really don't, right? Like, I think both of them you have forever. What's going to be tough is, like, if they do split up, you'll hear both sides of it. And even now, well, you know this even now, right? Like, well, that puts you in an awkward position talking to both of them, right? It's sort of awful.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
well,
I'm not going to stress about it too much because I realize I can't do anything about it. And
there's nothing you can do.
And they're going to do whatever they need to. And, when I get out, I know that I'll have them both there by my side. And, so, I mean, even if they're living at two different places, I'm going to, go stay with Dad for a bit, go stay with Mom for a bit. And then, eventually I'll get my own place. So it's not going to be too stressful,
Yeah, you're going to be okay, right? Like, it's just going to be upsetting, and it's upsetting because it's happened in this weird time, right? For you. But there's nothing you can really do about it. But I don't know. Like, a lot of the time, I joke about my parents should maybe have split up, but like I actually really feel they should have split up, and that maybe I would have had a happier childhood in some ways if they had, right? Because I just ended up like being in the middle of a lot of their fights, like literally, like as a little kid, right? So, and that was awful. And it would be different as an adult, right? Like to be in the middle of it, but I still think, like,
fighting you about a little bit more than if you're a child. They're like, oh, she doesn't ever do this. Oh, she doesn't ever do that. And you're like left nodding your head, like, what do you say?
Yeah, I know. There's nothing you can do. So it's just kind of like you're just gonna have to roll with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think you're doing all the right things. Like, I'm really happy to hear that you like poetry and that you're thinking about writing and stuff like that. I think all of that stuff just is gonna help you.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's going to be a little getaway, and I'm starting to read books a little bit more lately. So it takes me away from the stresses of just day-to-day life. And so
can I send you books? Is there a way for me to send you books?
Yeah, you can send me books through Amazon.com.
Okay. I know about that with the prisons. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll send you a couple too. I don't know. Books saved me when I was a little kid, and I also just think it's good for you, and especially if you're going to write one, even if the book has nothing to do with the kind of thing that you're going to write, right? Like, it's just good to be there and to feel like words are going to help you. And I think in your case, it does help you. It helps to talk about bad things that happen to people, weirdly enough. Like, it's better to talk about them.
Right.
I mean,
and I was just telling Mom earlier, I'm like, whenever I write a letter, I write how I talk. And so sometimes when I'm writing, I will write what the emotion is that I'm feeling in that exact moment. And sometimes that can make for a bipolar letter.
but those are the best letters. So I think that, it's better if you're supposed to stay in the moment. That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, I definitely do that when I write my letters because I've been getting a lot of mail, and so I have pen pals and stuff, and so and then I had kind of had like a little bit of like a prison boyfriend, for a little bit, but things are going downhill, and I see us breaking up in the near future.
Well, I mean, look, there's nothing you can do except sort of live your life, right? And try to fill it with as many things that are not horrible as you can, right? And I don't know.
Like Mike keeps on telling me, he's like, don't get in any rides with any dudes right now.
I mean, I do feel that way too. Like, I'm definitely, I think that you should wait, right? Like, mostly because you can't even see them really, right? Like, so what's the point, right?
Right. Like, if it was somebody, maybe like on the outside that could come visit me on a weekly or something, they can come visit me, it would be better. But this particular person, I met him through a friend, and we him the writing, and really sweet guy, 23, very cute, just a good person, but he's in prison for drugs. And then I think what was the clincher of it all is that, like, he wants his best friend, that's a female, to move in with him whenever he gets out. And I'm a jealous girlfriend, okay? So I'm like, that's awkward and weird, and that's not happening. And so I think that's where we're at right now, with him not budging, me not budging, and so I'm just going to say this isn't working,
Yeah, I think, like, you're going to have all the time in the world to date when you get out, right? Like, and I just think you're also, like, still kind of trying to figure out who you are, right? Like, which is actually, like, would be true if you weren't in prison in your 20s, right? Like, it's just sort of how it works. And, like, look, you know how it goes for people who don't have that time, right? Like your dad maybe was, like, a little bit angry when he was younger, like, as he describes himself, right? Like, or whatever, because, he sort of became a dad really quickly, and then that, like, he had to grow up fast, right? And I think it was probably kind of the same for your mom, actually, right? Like, she became a mom, and then she decided that was the only thing that she was going to do with her life.
Right.
And that wasn't really good for either of them, right?
Especially just in a marriage, just because, you got pregnant, now you have to get married, and, that puts them in a position where, my mom loves him, but was she sure that was the one true love, or did she really want to stick with him for the rest of her life? And, he was just trying to be responsible and own up to, what had happened. So.
Right. And I guess the point is that, like, relationships can really, like, kind of warp you when you're still trying to figure out who you are, right? Like, because it's so easy to just decide, okay, like, I'm just this person. I'm this person's wife or this person's mother or whatever, right? Like, and that's it. And I don't need to think about anything else. But I think what's better for people, and what's better for you to the extent you can, is like, while you're in there, is like, you don't need to be getting involved with any men at all, like over pen pals or whatever. I mean, I think you should have pen pals, but I think, like, in terms of dating any of them, there's no point. You can't really date them anyway. But it's good to know people, right? And to try and figure out, like, who you are, and read books, and think about things, and do school and work and learn all of those skills. Those are the things that you should be doing. But yeah, like, the thing is, the boy thing can happen once you get out.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, like, a lot of people feel that way too. And I'm like, of course I want to write people, and I want to, go out there and do things. But I'm stuck in here, so it's like I'm limited. So, I mean, what I have now is I have school, I have my job, I have books, and that is all that I can possibly do right now. And then when I get out, I can live a life.
Exactly. Well, and you'll come out, here's the thing, like, you'll come out feeling, like, a little better equipped to live that life.
Exactly. Because right now I still feel like I haven't, I'm still kind of naive about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I need to have experiences with people in general, just to kind of learn how to operate and how to hold my own whenever I'm out there, and be an adult. Like, I had went to get my birth certificate, because they had, like, a little thingy on the TB program, and it says that you can order your birth certificate. The prison will order your birth certificate for you. And so I went up there, and I'm like, I don't have my birth certificate, so I'm going to want to get it. And so I signed off for it. They're going to pay for it and everything. But I felt like such an adult, because that was, like, the first, like, adult thing that I've ever done for myself. I've never done paperwork or anything, so I just felt kind of adultish doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Gypsy, I wish you weren't in there, right? Like, and I wish there was some way to, like, have you in a situation where there's, like, a wider variety of those experiences that you could have, so that you could start figuring it out. But I think there's probably plenty of things within the context of, like, of the limitations that prison places on you that you can still, like, you can read a lot, right? Like, reading is really good for like, figuring out how to deal with different experiences, right? Because, like, the people in the books have all the experiences.
I do have self-help books, and you read those, and they have some even about dealing with life in prison, not life in prison, a lot of those home.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and those are the things that you should be like focusing on.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you get out, I actually think you'll find like that it was worth it. Like that it was worth it to spend the time on that, because the truth is, like, I don't want to sound really bad, but like a lot of men are what's the word I want to use here? Flaky, right? Like So even if you make like if you like a guy that you're writing with, you have no idea what else he's doing, right? Like and I like, I'm not saying you have to distrust all men or anything, but there's no reason that you have to that like to rely on them either. So it's probably just better to just focus on exactly. But that doesn't mean you can't write to men. You can write to men. There's no reason to consider yourself in a relationship with them or anything like that, or like promise them what you're going to do when you get out. That you don't need to promise anybody anything.
No. Especially like I find that I don't want to be controlled, and I'm not saying that being in a relationship is being controlled. I'm just saying that I don't want to be controlled at the moment or in the future. I want somebody. I need to heighten my standards, because they were so low. Because Nick would call me all kinds of bad names, and I'd just let him. I really would.
Yeah.
And, I consider myself lucky to be with someone like that, and that's completely wrong. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm at that growth where I'm still growing and still learning about what my standards are, what do I want, who am I, and so that's kind of where I'm at right now.
No, and it'll be easier to. I promise the dating will be better when you get out and you know yourself a little bit better.
Right.
I mean, that would be true if you were out in the world right now. Dating is better in your 30s than it is in your 20s. Like, it just is, right? Like, so like it's just better. And to the extent, like, because we have to just accommodate the situation where you're in prison, there's nothing we can really do about it. Like, unless maybe the petition one day will do something, but it's probably not the best idea for anybody to get their hopes up for now, right? Like, but you know.
6.5 years left to do. It's like I can't promise anything.
Yeah, you can't promise anything. You don't know who you'll be 6.5 years from now. You really don't.
Who knows?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
Watch my show. But,
cool. Do that.
It was
all right.
so good to talk to you. And just send me an email when you want me to call you, and I will chat.
Sounds good.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Enjoy your show. Okay. Bye.
The caller has hung up.